Microsoft charges $30 a month for Copilot, and that is on top of your existing Microsoft 365 subscriptions. For a 10-person business, that's $300 a month for AI that most people I talk to find frustrating, confusing, and really hard to get value from. So I did something different. I set up Claude Projects in 20 minutes. I replaced Copilot across my entire business. Let's go. I'm going to show you how I build it today. Before we get into the setup, let me tell you where I'm coming from. I spent most of my 30 years in tech as a Microsoft partner. I ran a managed service company for over a decade. I deployed Microsoft 365 licenses way before it was called Microsoft 365. So I know the Microsoft ecosystem inside and out. And a while back, I made a decision. I dropped every Microsoft 365 product in my business except for Outlook. Word, Excel, PowerPoint, gone. I replaced them all with ClickUp. And when I came to AI, I chose Claude instead of Copilot. And that's not a hot take because it wasn't even close. That's a decision I made after using both, after deploying both for clients, after watching what actually gets used and what gets ignored. And here's the honest version of why. The Microsoft 365 AI experience is built for enterprises. Now, I worked in $1 billion enterprise that had 365, AI, Copilot, all the stuff. It's built for organizations like that. Organizations with full IT departments, SharePoint infrastructure, compliance teams, and tenant administrators. Can't even get that out. Entra ID. So if you're in that world, Copilot makes sense. But if you're running a 10 or 20 person service business, which most of you watching this are, they're asking you to pay $30 a month on top of your existing Microsoft 365 license for a tool that's embedded in an ecosystem that was never designed for how you actually work. Now, again, I still use Outlook. Exchange is solid. I'm not here to tell you rip everything out. But Word, Excel, PowerPoint, ClickUp does what I need better, faster, and without all the licensing complexity. And for AI, Claude does what Copilot promises to do and has been promising to do for a couple years now without the infrastructure overhead involved. Today, I'm going to show you exactly a specific Claude function that made this decision super obvious for me. And I'm going to show you how to set it up in 20 minutes or less. You ready to go? I'm going to switch over to Claude. Most people use Claude the exact same way they use Google. They open up a chat like this right here, what you're seeing right here. They type in a question, they get an answer, they close the tab. So every conversation starts from zero. Claude or whatever AI tool you're using knows nothing about who you are, what business you run, who your clients are, or how you like to work. That's not a tool. That's a search engine with better sentences. Claude Projects changes this completely. A project is a persistent workspace where you can tell Claude everything about your business once. Your company, your clients, your voice, your processes, your context. Every conversation inside that project starts with all of that loaded. Claude doesn't just know what you ask, it knows who you are. And that's the feature most Copilot users are paying $30 a month to try to get. And most Claude users, unfortunately, have never touched. So let me show you how to set up a Claude project. Right now, this is Claude. So we're familiar with this window where we type in a question, how can I help you today? So what I want to do, the first thing you want to do is create a Claude project. And there's a couple different components that we're going to go through. So again, I'm on a Mac. Windows might look similar, not sure. So if I click the little tab here and then I go to projects, this is my projects list. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to open a new project. And again, this is super important if you want to have everything built into one place. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new project, and we're going to call this Vandelay MSP. Vandelay MSP. I'm going to go ahead and create the project. And this is the project workspace. I'm going to zoom out just because I'm zoomed all the way in so that you can see it. But I'm going to zoom out so what you normally would see is something like this, where 2 columns. You've got a column here where the chat, all the chat stuff resides, and then you've got memory instructions and stuff over here. And that's really what I want to key in on is these 2 things right here, instructions and files, which is essentially your knowledge base. Those are the 2 things that make Claude actually know your business. So the first thing that we want to do, we want to start with the instructions. So I'm going to come over here, click the little plus icon. It's going to pop up this window here. So what I'm going to do, I already have this preloaded. Most people leave this blank, and this is a huge mistake. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste, and then we'll read that out to you. So I'm going to paste this in here. So you are working for Vandelay Technology Solutions, a managed IT service provider based in Columbus, Ohio. About my business, we serve professional service firms. Our core service is fully managed IT with compliance built in. Our tone is direct, plain English, no tech jargon the client doesn't use. Our key differentiator is compliance first IT regulated professional service firms. Context: the owner is Art Vandelay. The team, 8 staff, 6 technicians, 1 ops, 1 biz dev. Current focus: expanding into wealth management vertical, launching VCIO offering. How I want you to respond: write in Art's voice. Direct, short sentences, no padding. Emails are signed Art, not Vandelay Technology Solutions. Never open with, I hope this email finds you well. So again, we're putting in, these are the guardrails, if you will, as well. When I ask for a prospect outreach, target managing partners at accounting and legal firms in the Columbus Metro, 15 to 40 employees. And right here, the last sentence is the one most people don't put in. Flag it if you think I'm about to make a mistake. And that is not a chatbot instruction. That's a team member instruction. Claude will now push back on bad ideas instead of just executing them, because that's what happens. We get what they affectionately call the AI slop, and that's not what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save Instructions. Now that will live inside of my project right here, and you can edit these instructions at any time. It's not once and done, but you want to set these up as you create the project. That's the first thing that you do. So now we want to put in the knowledge base. This is where you load the documents in Claude, because Claude actually needs to know your business. Now I've got 5 files ready for Vandelay. This is exactly what I recommend for any service business. And let me walk you through each one as I upload it. So essentially what we're going to do here, there's 5 files. The ICP, that's your ideal customer profile. The services, sample of your voice, objections, and then priorities. So I'm just going to open these up. These are markdown format. And again, for all us tech nerds out there, this is how AI tools read data. This is how it pulls things together. So you could put PDFs, you could put Word documents, whatever you want. This is most efficient, and it's not going to burn through your token usage at a high rate. So the very first one, the ICP. So you can see how Vandelay ideal customer profile, the client we do our best work for, what they care about, pain points we solve, what a win looks like for them, who are not right for us. So the second one is a voice sample, how we communicate, sample proposal follow-up emails, health report intro paragraphs. So you can put in as much or as little detail as you want. But what I did was just put this data in here. Your service offering, what your signature services are, what your service tiers are, project work, what we don't do, and some pricing notes. And all these will be included with this file as well with this video. So Vandelay common objections. And again, this could be transcripts of, calls or sales calls that you've done. You can compile all of this into these 5 different documents. So this might take you rough draft, maybe 40 minutes, and get Claude to help you write these things. But you probably are sitting on all this information. We just haven't condensed it into a place that makes it easy for Claude to read. So those are the 5 docs. So here's my current priorities, who we are, our priority for Q1, our Q2, and decisions we're working through in some revenue context. So that is our 5 files. So I'm going to move this back down here. I'm going to go ahead and select all 5 of these files, and then we're going to drag and drop them right into our knowledge base, which is it's called files, but if you saw that pop up, those are our knowledge files. So it's going to pull those in here. So now I have those loaded in here. So now as I type in those instructions and anything I type going forward, Claude is going to know a lot about my business. So what I'm going to do is jump out of projects, and we're going to demonstrate what this looks like. I'm just going to create a new chat. We are not in projects. So this is the chat window that most people land on when they open up Claude. So I just want to see what type of information it gives me, and it might give me some information about Orange Nomad, which is my company, but we'll see. I'm just in a generic email. So write a short follow-up email to a prospect after our initial discovery call. They're a managing partner and an accounting firm, 22 employees, Columbus area. They mentioned compliance documentation was a gap, but seemed hesitant on price. So this doesn't live in any of the projects. But Claude might pull some memory out of some, other work that I've done inside of Claude as well. And again, you'll find, I'll go back into the project in a second and show you where that memory lives as Claude starts to build a memory of what you do inside of here. So now it's going to try to build business context on nothing. So as you can see right here, it's super generic. So again, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here that references, and it's got your name, but it gives me 2 options of what I could build here. So that's just a sample email. But again, there's no reference to Vandelay Technology Solutions, Vandelay MSP. It's just generic. It's a very generic service professional company. So there's no personality. There's no reference. It knows nothing about art. It knows nothing about what happens inside of Vandelay MSP. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into our project, go into Vandelay MSP, and we're going to type the exact same message and see what it pulls out given our knowledge base and inside of a project. Okay, so that is same prompt, same Claude. We've got different output here. We have completely different output because this version knows who Art is. It knows who he's writing to, what the compliance gap means for the firm, and how Art actually talks. And notice it's already put in some pricing structure because it's already pulled that. You mentioned compliance documentation is a gap. I want to be straight with you about what that means for a 22-person accounting firm. Do you see the difference? That's the feature here. If a client ever requests data retention, our regulator does, and you don't have one, the problem isn't IT. It's your professional liability. That's the actual risk sitting on the table right now. So on price, the professional tier is $185 a month per user per month. For 22 users, that's $4,070 a month. I know that's more than what you're paying now. Here's the comparison that usually matters. What's your current vendor charging you for compliance documentation, for tested backups, for security awareness training? Most firms find that these are either missing entirely or getting billed as one-off projects that never quite happened. Do you see what it's doing here? So there's the email. So if I have Gmail connected, I could fire this right out of here. So here's another, maybe a softer build the use case first, but you see the difference here. This is the feature. This is what $300 a month in Copilot licenses is trying to do right here. It's already set up. Same prompt, same Claude, completely different output. And that's the difference. This is one of the big reasons that I decided to drop Copilot. Microsoft's been trying to do this. One more thing before I close out this video. Again, we did this in less than 20 minutes as promised. A few weeks ago, Anthropic released a native Microsoft 365 connector for Claude. Outlook, Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive all connect to Claude directly in Claude on every plan, including the free plan. So if you're still embedded in that Microsoft ecosystem, that's certainly something worth knowing about. And I'll leave a link in the description as well. Now, I don't use it personally. Again, I dropped Word, Excel, PowerPoint a while back. There's videos on YouTube. Anthropic and Claude both have YouTube videos on how to do that. ClickUp does everything I need in place of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that good fun stuff. But if you're not ready to make that move yet, I get it. The Microsoft 365 connector means that you can get Claude Projects experience inside the tools you're already using. That by itself is a meaningful upgrade over a Copilot license at a fraction of the cost. Claude's only $20 a month. So think about the savings. If you have a 10-person company, that's $100 a month for a much better product, in my humble opinion. But that's actually in a new video, the ClickUp stuff. ClickUp isn't just a project management tool again. It has agent features inside that even do some things we didn't show you here today. But it works right alongside Claude in a way most people haven't even seen yet. And if you're still paying for Microsoft 365 products that you don't really love, the ClickUp conversation might be a useful one that I can have with you. Next Tuesday, next video, how I replaced Word, Excel, PowerPoint with ClickUp and how it coexists as part of a 3-tool stack that runs my business. Subscribe if you want to see this, you want to be alerted first, and I will see you in the next one.